Are you leveraging LinkedIn as a startup founder, or is your profile still reading like an employee? On LinkedIn, you need to build your authority as the leader and owner of your new business, using your profile to appeal to potential investors, business partners, and talent. Our guest is a leading authority on LinkedIn profile optimization, and she's authored 2 editions of LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. So get ready to up your LinkedIn game so you can attract investors, business partners, and talent for your startup. It's Fab Female Founder Friday on the Startup Life Live Show. Let's glow, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Startup Life Live Show. I'm your host, Ande, Lyons, 4-time founder and startup champion to founders around the world. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I got to tell you, I have such a deep appreciation for what you all are walking through every single day with your business. The highs, the lows, the incredible uncertainty, the what? I don't know what I don't know, right? And I am in awe and wonder of how you keep solving those problems and figuring things out. And I know there are moments when you are popping the champagne and going, woo, I'm amazing. And then moments later, you're probably crying into that same glass of champagne going, what's the matter? So it's a up and down journey. And I'm so thrilled that you carved out time to up your founder game right here on the Startup Life Live Show, because as you do better, your startup will do better. And the gems that you're going to grab from the conversations that we have here on the show will help ease your life, right? As a founder, will maximize your joy and ease the heartache from your founder journey. If you're watching us live, I just got a big yoo-hoo out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And to the replay viewers and podcast listeners, I'm deeply grateful for your time and your presence. Let me just share a few things before I introduce our guest. First of all, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe if you're tuning in from YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get a deep dive on whenever I have a guest on the show, please hop on over to the Startup Life Live Meetup group. This way you'll get an alert and a deep dive on the guest and their background and how it might relate to what you're doing with your startup. I've got a QR code there and a link as well. So join us for a good time. If you are in the US and have a B2B business and want to get more government contracts or corporate contracts, one of the best ways to get in the door is with the WBENC application, the WBENC certification. It's the gold standard for you as a woman owner, and it is a pesky application. I'm just telling you. So for years, I have helped female founders with this application. So if you've been struggling and you want some help with your WBENC application, be sure to reach out to me, Ande at ANDELICIOUS.com. I'm just going to dive right in and introduce our guest to you, because this is a fascinating conversation, and we have to know how to leverage one of the most important places we need to be for our brand, not only our professional startups brand, but for our own visual, our own personal brand. And that's LinkedIn, right? It's the chamber of commerce of social media. So we've always got to be a little bit buttoned up, but we're going to learn how to leverage that. So let me do a quick intro of our phenomenal guest. It's the one and only Donna Serdula. She's a leading authority on LinkedIn profile optimization. As the founder and president of Vision Board Media, a professional branding company, Donna helps individuals and companies tell their unique stories on LinkedIn and beyond. Via her website, LinkedIn-makeover.com, Donna and her team of 20 writers and coaches help people collide with opportunity and transform their lives via future-forward career branding. And get this, Donna has authored not 1, but 2 editions of the LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. And she has been featured on many news outlets, including Forbes, Business Insider, Wall Street Journal's Market Watch, LA Times, and NBC. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to bring her into the show. Let's get going. Hello, Donna Serdula.
Hello, Andy Lyons. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, Donna, we wanted to be able to live stream to your tribe today, but I just realized that maybe I need to give some approval here because wouldn't that be fun? But and folks, when you go live, if things start happening on the side, trying to keep the conversation going while you're trying to get rid of a pesky detail, I'm telling you, it is, an interesting way to keep things flowing. Let's see if we're going to try this again. I think if you try it again on LinkedIn, Donna, we might be able to get it.
It says I'm live.
Oh, awesome. So, hey, Ruth, if you could hop on over to Donna's LinkedIn profile, okay, and see if it's going live, that would be so cool. Anyway, everyone, before we get started talking, Donna, I have to tell you, and folks, go over to Donna's LinkedIn profile, right? Before we get started, I want to acknowledge you for adding career break for parenting on your LinkedIn profile. I love something fierce. And can you just share just a little bit why all parents, moms and dads, should do this?
Why they should put a career break? Because we need to make it okay for other people as well, right?
For any kind of career break that they need. Yay.
Well, LinkedIn just recently started allowing this. So when you go onto your profile and you go to add a new experience, it's not just an experience, you can add a break, and you could actually add any type of break. It could be caring for your parent, or, a mental health break, or a sabbatical of some type, which is lovely because I do think it makes it okay. And it says, hey, we all need to take that time for ourselves. And
absolutely. So I just wanted to acknowledge you right away and plant that seed for others. There's this being professional, of course, we can have a conversation on what really professional means, but the fact that now you can put career break in there and actually maybe share, I went and hiked the Himalayas, whatever. We have life, as well to share with folks.
I had a client who she called it her radical sabbatical.
Oh,
isn't that fabulous?
Yes. So now we can get clever with the words. I love that, something fierce. So folks, here in the Startup Life Live show, I love to amplify founders' brands. So if you're tuning in live, please share your business name, one-liner, and website URL in the comments, and we will showcase and celebrate you and your wonderful work in the world. You know that it's all about the replay and podcast listener later, right? Everybody's listening replay. And so it's a great way to have an evergreen shout out for your business. But also, if you've got comments, you've got something that's maybe driving you nuts about LinkedIn, or you just don't know how to do, or you're wondering, do I need to do this? Please, please, please pop your questions and comments into the comment threads during our conversation, and we'll put them on the screen so we can learn together, because Donna's got a lot of good things going on. Hey, we've got a LinkedIn user. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, but she's saying, or he's saying, hi, Donna. And Larissa, I'm so happy you stopped by. Donna is an excellent speaker and inspiring person. Hooray. And thank you, Niyati, for sharing Hamani.finance. Oh, I need to have a little more information for folks. Okay, so give me a one-liner and a URL and we'll celebrate you. And Richard O is tuning in from California. Life is an adventure. Talk to me, Guy. And remember, folks, if you need help with your podcast, Talk to Me, Guy is right there. And Ruth, my wonderful community greeter and manager, so grateful that you tuned in today. Hooray. All right, so let's get into the goods, because I'm going to first find out a little bit about Donna's lived experience and background before she became the goddess of LinkedIn optimization. So Donna, what called you back in 2009 to launch your business and become an entrepreneur? And was this something you'd always dreamed of? Were you the one who was hustling product in third grade? Or did you fall into entrepreneurship because you're like, gosh darn it, I A, need more flexibility, or B, I have a problem to solve?
There was a little bit of a problem to solve, but I had always wanted to be, a business owner. I wanted to have my own business, my own place. And it was in 2009. And I'll tell you a secret what really, really happened. And that is I was working in it was a cutthroat, high pressured sales environment. And I was dialing for dollars. I was doing a lot of cold calling. And out of the blue, I was given the cardboard box. And it was shocking. It was really a surprise for me. But at that moment, I wasn't hurt and I wasn't scared. I actually felt almost joyous. It was like, it's now my turn. It's now my chance. This is what I need.
This is the
And
sign I've been waiting
it's
for, right?
it's the sign. And at that point, I said, all right, I'm going to start my own business. And I'm going to do it. And what am I going to do?
I'll figure that out later. But, and it's good because folks, remember, unemployment insurance is there for a reason. I know here in Massachusetts, it's almost like happily, if you get laid off and you get your unemployment, they love to hear that you are also trying to start a business because you're going to add to the economy, right?
Yeah, it's true. And that's certainly helped in the early days of it. Because I had been in a sales and marketing role, I was using LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And this was in the early days. Like LinkedIn was not well known back then. I remember, fast forward a little bit when I said, I wrote a book about LinkedIn. Most people thought I was saying Lincoln. And they were like, oh, we didn't know you were into history.
Yeah, it was still like, I'm going to do what? Where?
Yeah.
No.
My family, everyone thought I was nuts. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to write LinkedIn profiles? Like, it was.
Who cares? And what is that online stuff anyway?
Yeah. But I knew in my heart that there was a need for it because I needed it back when I was in the sales role, right? Because I recognized, hey, I'm checking everyone out. Like as I'm making calls, as I'm, getting meetings, I want to know who I'm talking to, who I'm meeting with. And that LinkedIn profile was it was the only thing that you'd find about a person. And that's still true to this day. Most people don't have websites.
Yeah. And
you'd look at that profile and here's your chance to make an amazing first impression. But what do most people do? They just copy a dull, dry, out-of-date resume in those fields. And they're missing huge opportunity to really control how people perceive them. So I recognized that back then. And that was really the catalyst for me. It's like, let's do this. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. And I'm just going to go follow up real quickly when we heard earlier from Niadi, everybody, HEMANI.finance. She says it's her new startup after being licensed as a CPA. So come on, congratulations for starting your business. And then we have Corinne here. Hi, Corinne Swanger, SWAINGER. She says, I'm a senior medical copywriter based in London. And it's www.mediquill.com, mediquill.com, everybody. Cheering wildly for you, Corinne. I tell you, there's so many great things we can do. And let's say a quick hello to our favorite fan, Brent, Ottawa from Canada. He's a diverse person, loyal fan, and he understands that diversity needs a seat at the table. And he's happy to be supporting women empowerment today. Woo woot! That's wonderful. And hello, Mia Voss. So happy that you're tuning in. How are you doing? And everybody knows what happens when Mia swings by. We have to do a quick shout out for the Shit We Don't Talk About podcast with Mia Voss. Nobody talks about the tough topics better than Mia. So be sure to check out her podcast everywhere it glows and wherever you like to tune in. So you put out your shingle, you focused on LinkedIn, but you were also building public speaking like pretty much also from day one. So let's talk a little bit about why this lights you up. Because, folks, when you launch a business, and those of you tuning in, you know how important this is. You got to be lit up about what you're doing, or else you're never going to get out of bed during those dark days of the soul. Talk a little bit about how you built this part of your presence. Because, as you know, I showed in the beginning, here you are on the stage being incredible. Talk about that.
So, Andy, I'm a very shy, introverted person, believe it or not. So
Yeah,
getting up on this stage is one of those, it's a strange thing. I love it, but it is almost, contrary to my nature.
Wow. See, and I don't speak from the stage ever, but I love being on a camera. What? It's crazy. So
It's a strange, yeah, it's a strange
you,
thing.
yeah. So you get up there. How did you start honing that skill? What were the opportunities that were out there that helped you increase this?
So for me, I had been, I would always find myself, being asked, can you get up here and talk? Can you talk about this? And so it was something that I did through my corporate life. But when I got, and I, started the business, and you had said at the Chamber of Commerce, I joined my local Chamber of Commerce, and I took a class by this business coach. His name was Doug Shea. And he said, when you first start up your business, most people immediately go to sales and they start trying to sell their product, and it doesn't always work. It's like they don't make any traction. So then they fall back to marketing. Let me send out these postcards. Let me send out these emails. Even that doesn't really work right out of the gate. He said it's the third thing that really you should always do first. And the third thing, so after sales, after marketing, comes education. And you've got to educate your audience on your product, on your services. And he said that's the way to really be successful and to get that traction with your business. And so with that in my mind, I thought, and this was back in 2009, social media was very new. And that's how I started to build the business, was to say, I need to get out there. I need to add value. I need to educate. I need to teach people what it means and why they should care and how it matters. So for me, that was the real reason why I got onto the stage and I started to teach. It was a way of helping people and make that impact so they could start to see what the future really was going to be.
Oh my gosh, I am so proud of you. I love that something fierce, because that took conviction and commitment. And I love that advice. The sales out there hustling, nothing, crickets. Marketing, I'll be more strategic in how I do things. Boom, nothing. Okay, I'm going to have to start educating people and get in front of people like the Chamber of Commerce, but also on LinkedIn. That's tremendous. And can you share with folks who are also in that transitioning period of, because I know it was a while ago, but that transitioning period from being an employee, where we're all about rewards and doing what the boss wants, et cetera, to shifting your mindset into being an owner. Okay, this is my business. So I'm here, the owner out here, but my business is its own entity, and I've got to make sure it's run smoothly, et cetera. Did you have any mind shift challenges as you walked that journey, Donna?
For me, it was something that I'd always wanted. I was always a very independent worker in the corporate world, almost an entrepreneur even back then.
Wonderful.
But so for me, it was almost like this is where my mindset has always been at. And I suddenly felt free. And I think I think some people are naturally entrepreneurial, right? And there's some people who just, maybe they want to, but it just doesn't come all that natural, which is okay. But I think those who are, deep in their soul, an entrepreneur, a business owner, it's almost like that moment where you wake up and you're like, I'm now working for me. I'm working for my target audience, my clients. And I now have that control to do what I want to do, and I can make those smart decisions that I always wanted to make.
Right. Oh boy, you're right. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating in a corporate environment when you see these decisions that are being made and you're like, say what? That's never going to work. Especially if you see what's on the horizon, like you were with LinkedIn and bringing that in. Now you also became, and I'm sure as a salesperson, you really grabbed how important branding is, brand promises, all the richness of branding. How is it that you became, a branding goddess as well, and got, clear about how you not only helped articulate your own story, but helped others articulate their story and their brand, their promise of what they were going to bring to people every day?
Well, when I first started out and said, okay, I'm going to write LinkedIn profiles, and no one was doing it back then. No one. I mean, the thought of it was, like I said, it was even a bizarre thought at the time. But it really became very clear. This isn't just, you're not writing a profile, but this is really about branding. This is about articulating a person's story and helping them understand their value and what they bring to the table. And in that act of writing the profile, you're really helping a person see themselves in a whole new light, and they become so much more confident and ready for opportunity. It's a beautiful thing. And for me, it's not really LinkedIn, it's the brand. Like, that's what we're about. It's finding the core of that human being and helping them see it, because for so many people, they just don't even know.
Right?
They sit too close.
Yeah, I'm just going to put the slide back up again. Branding for you. Be sure to go to LinkedIn-makeover.com to learn all the services that Donna has for you hanging out there. Just want to do a quick hello to a wonderful LinkedIn user saying he, the president of a nonprofit foundation that helps the homeless. We are so grateful for your wonderful work in the world. Thank you. Thank you. And hey, Brittany. Brittany says, hi, Donna.
Brittany. Hi, Brittany.
It's fun, right? When someone when a door comes.
Brittany's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
She's the Instagram queen.
Oh, really? Oh, good to know. And look at, Patrick is already talking to Niyati about how, oh my, I need help. Can we set up a meeting? Folks, this is what you do on LinkedIn as well, especially on LinkedIn Lives. When you get to meet people in the comment section, you find out what they're up to. You're like, wait, I want to work with you. It's another great feature about LinkedIn. And so as you started to, build your journey through, okay, this is how I'm going to help people. I want to write their profiles on a platform that people still don't even really know exists, because now you're moving into 2010 and people are like, okay, I think I'm supposed to have something up there. How did you do customer acquisition then? And what does customer acquisition look like for you today with your business?
Yeah, it has changed. It definitely has changed. Back in the day, I had thought to myself, what I want to do is I want to be very transparent with our pricing. I want to be very, very clear. I didn't want anyone to have to call us to figure out what the pricing was. I wanted to make it as clear as day. And we still do that, which
right on your website?
Right on the website.
Oh, can we just take a second for that for service providers? I feel so strongly about that because, people want your service, but they will have a price sensitivity. And there's, elasticity in the pricing for things like this. So before they want to take time out to have that conversation, that free call that we all offer in the service world, it's great to know that ahead of time. So what happens when people say, oh, no, you should never show your pricing on the website? What's your response to them when they say that?
Why waste anyone's time and why waste yours, right? Like, just put it out there. And then when people call, we don't even have to worry about, okay, is there a price sensitivity? Let's just get right into what is your issue? What is the solution you need? What is the vision that you have? And we can really, dive in deep on those calls.
And I feel it's a filtering process because you don't want to waste your time. So now the person is comfortable, or at least figuring out how much borrowing capability they have left on a credit card. And so they're being strategic with it all. But I just love that. And I hope folks tuning in as service provider. In fact, you know what, everyone, I have to stop for a second and have an Andelicious moment over this. Donna said, why waste your time and why waste their time? So Donna, thank you for deepening that clarity. And so as you bring customers on today, how has that changed over the years? And has it changed quickly and often? Because as service providers, folks, we always have to be thinking about our customer acquisition strategy and costs.
Yeah. Back then, back in the day, it was me giving away as much information as possible. It was blogging, writing.
Yeah.
That was huge. Even getting up on stage and speaking for free. That was how I brought in I did the lead generation back then. And it has changed, as we're now at 8,000 clients that we've worked with.
What?
Now our leads come mainly from referrals
Hold
and
on.
people who tell people.
And to do the dollar cha-ching. 8,000 people. That's a huge impact.
Yeah. Yeah, but it tells you that it's something that's necessary. And how you look, how you present yourself, the way you describe your value, it's very, very important.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do. It's hard to write about yourself.
Well, and of course, we all know about SEO, search engine optimization. I have to tell you, did I know anything about LinkedIn profile optimization before I met you? No. I mean, I knew I was supposed to be, doing certain things. And, one minute it was okay. Videos were welcome. The next minute I feel ghosted for having a video, all of these things that happen. Don't use emojis, use emojis. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm a servant to the algorithms. Talk about what LinkedIn profile optimization means and how it can help founders.
Yeah. So with LinkedIn, we want to think of LinkedIn not just as a professional network. It's also a search engine. And it's a search engine, it's a database of professionals for professionals. And people are going on LinkedIn, and it's not just a name-based search that they're doing. Sometimes they have a need. They need a certain type of service provider. They need a certain type of product. They need help. And so when they don't know that you exist, but they know that they have this need, they go into LinkedIn and they'll put in keywords, hoping to find someone like you. And so that's the idea behind LinkedIn profile optimization. It's let's figure out how people are trying to collide with us. How are people trying to find us? What are those words? And then let's make sure that the profile from top to bottom is optimized. So your profile is more apt to pop to the top than other profiles. Now, and it's not through an obnoxious keyword repetition. That doesn't work. But what does work is organically, contextually using those keywords in your narrative, in your profile. And when you do that, and you do it in a manner where your profile isn't stale, right? It's actually up to date. You're going to find that your profile does pop up. You're going to have more views to your profile. You're going to have more opportunity.
Can you talk more about stale? Excuse me, ma'am, but your profile is stale. We need to. Your expiration date has passed.
Well,
How do we do that? How do we keep enlivening our profiles so that they keep popping up in people's feeds?
with the LinkedIn profile, and I said it before, no one likes to write about themselves. It's just something that, it's always the last thing on the to-do list, and it's the thing that never gets done. And so it's very easy for a profile to get stale, which means it hasn't been edited, it hasn't been updated, and it goes from weeks to months to years. And if you think of the platform, if you think of LinkedIn, they want their search results to be fabulous.
Right.
And a fabulous search result isn't a profile that hasn't been touched in 5 years, right? That
Mhm.
profile is not gonna be served. So we want to go in there. We wanna keep it fresh. We don't want it
Well,
stale.
what's the frequency rate so that is it once a year, once a
Oh, goodness.
quarter?
If you could do it once a month, once every 2 months, even once every 3 months is better than nothing. But, just go in there and add something to your featured section. Add some, a multimedia. Change some words in your about section. Go into your experience and add an accomplishment. But it's that type of just freshening it up and make it that living document that it should be, that it reflects who you are at this very second.
Or as Mia would say, zhuzh it up a little.
Zhuzh it. I love that. Yes.
So, I mean, right there, it's like we can all just go, okay, done. That's perfect. Get it. But I know that there's so much more on how we can utilize our LinkedIn profiles, especially for the founders with, and let's talk about social capital. I'm a big believer for especially newbie founders and especially underserved and under-resourced founders that social capital, folks, is even more important than financial capital, because at the end of the day, it's who you know, who can get you introduced to this person, who can introduce you to that person that can help add wind to your sails and open doors for you. So how do founders, as they are moving in, they've got a startup. We had a woman in the comment section already talking about, I have a new startup. How is she going to start positioning herself, and especially to meet maybe more founders? But in our case, in the startup world, it's investors, it's folks who can help talent that we might be wanting to onboard, et cetera.
Yeah. I look at LinkedIn and there's different levels. Before it was really just one level. It was just have a profile and that's it. But there is still that foundation of the profile. And so for these founders, for these people who have these startups, you're busy. You've got a lot going on. And I know that. I know it's going to be hard, but you do need to sit down and say, wait, I'm going to take, and it's not a 15-minute, believe me, this takes a lot longer than 15 minutes. It's going to take a number of hours, and it very well may take a few days in total. But you do need to sit down and you need to think about your target audience. You need to think about those keywords that you want to get found for. You want to think of, what is your story and how do you want people to think about you? What is that core, that sense that you want people to come away with? And then you want to dive into that profile, and from top to bottom, you want to make sure that that profile truly reflects you. And it's something that it's not just what you want to say, right? It's what your target audience needs to know about you, right? That's really important. We want it to be not a resume. We don't want it to be an old, out-of-date bio, but we want it to be your manifesto, your introduction, that first impression. And so when a person reads it, they come away with the warmth of who you are, and they understand why you're doing this. And it's not just about the company. It's about you as a human being. That's what's so important. So you want to go through and you really want to make sure it reflects you. Yeah. Then you can start networking. That's when you can start building and posting and creating content and forging relationships. But until then, make sure you've got that strong foundation underneath you.
Oh my gosh. And founders, this is such an important tool. I'm going to throw this up on the screen too. Free LinkedIn tools at LinkedIn-makeover.com. We've got LinkedIn post ideas, format your LinkedIn text, LinkedIn header generator, all these great ideas that you can find there. But honestly, because of what Donna said at the beginning of what she was just talking about, you're very busy. So this is why you want to hire Donna. You want to have her and her team of over 20 coaches and writers help you polish it up, because you can be found on LinkedIn if you're doing the right things. And you really don't have time for this yourself to do all the reading. And yes, if you do have time, absolutely get Donna's book, LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies, right there. But at the same time, if you can, get someone to help you do this so you can focus on building your business. Right, Donna?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an investment.
It really is an important investment. And speaking of the book, I know it's the Dummies book, but you were invited and chosen to write the LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. How were you chosen?
You know what?
That happens.
It's funny because back when I first started the business, my father had said to me, he said, Donna, you should write. If you can't just call yourself an expert. Experts have to have a book. You need to write a book.
Boy, is that true?
And he told me that, when I first started the business. And I remember I was like, that seemed like an overwhelming concept, like to write a book. And then he hit me with something else. He said, call up the For Dummies people. Your topic would make a great For Dummies book. Call them up and they'll publish you.
Oh my gosh. Who is this person?
My father, Jim Serdula.
And so anyway, come on. I gotta tell you, talk about happening advice. That's awesome.
He gave a lot of good advice. So what did I do? I did write a book, but I self-published. Because I remember thinking to myself, there's no way they would laugh me off the phone. There's no way they would even take the call. Those For Dummies authors are people at the top of their game. They're real experts. Like, there's no way.
Here I am just I'm just Donna Serdula over
I'm
here.
just me. Like, no. So I self-published the book, and my father was on my back the entire time. He ordered it from Amazon and it was delivered. He got to see the dedication. He died 2 weeks later. But
Oh, Donna.
I am so proud that he got to see that book. Fast forward,
Oh,
2015, my phone rings and it's an acquisitions editor from
oh,
Wiley, the For Dummies folks.
yes,
And
yes.
they said, we'd love for you to write a For Dummies book on your
Oh,
topic. And I played it so cool, Andy. I was like, oh, I'm open to talking about this. In my heart, I was doing and so my father's dream came true,
oh,
and I
Dad.
got it, and in second edition, nonetheless. So it all comes
Oh.
around.
First of all, so sorry for your loss. What an extraordinary champion of you in life. But, he's still there. His presence is still felt. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. And I love that they called you. I mean, honestly, when you got that call and you played it so cool, I can just see you doing like a happy dance going, oh my God, like in the movies, right?
You won't believe where they found me, though.
Where?
Twitter, of all
Oh
places.
no, that's the journalist home in Haven. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yes.
Yeah,
That
the woman had found saw a tweet of mine, and she just followed the rabbit trail. And when she
oh.
came out, she's like, this lady needs to write the book.
That is such a beautiful story. Hello, beautiful Bobby from Utah. I'm so happy you're here tuning in. Wishing you a delicious day, my dear friend. And look at this testimonial here, Donna, from Aldo Adrian. Donna's
Oh,
team got my LinkedIn profile started a couple of years ago, for which I am grateful. I find money for businesses, new or older, with my team of 30 specialty finance fulfillment companies. There's plenty of entitlement money for businesses, but it's buried in complexity, and we provide an easy button. It's afasmartbusiness.com, afasmartbusiness.com. Aldo, way to nail it on the self promo in the comment threads. I am so proud of you, but also a great testimonial for a wonderful featured guest here, Donna.
well,
Wow.
thank you, Aldo.
I love it. And Sabir's here saying hi, and hi, Donna. Oh my
Oh, hi,
gosh.
Sabir.
So great. Isn't it great when someone pops up arbitrarily with a wonderful testimonial like that? That's brilliant. Okay, so moving right along, Donna, because there's so much we need to know about, writing an effective profile that enhances, your ranking, your reputation, but especially as a newbie founder, right? Transforms from being an employee at XYZ Corporation to now business owner, and in some cases, hopefully being able to prove founder market fit, which is what investors are always looking for. I never had that for all of my businesses, but it's what they talk about a lot. But also just really stepping into the authority so that when investors or other folks in the startup industry find them, they can feel strong. So do we go to and get your tips and tools here, one of these free devices? I mean, how do we figure out how long should the headliner be? I remember in the 2015 period, it was great to use that up and down dash that you see on I've got here on the lower third. What's important now in that headliner?
For the LinkedIn headline, it's still about really letting people understand who you are, what you do, and how you help. And infusing keywords is a good thing to do in the headline because it's a very sensitive field for the search algorithm. But, with that LinkedIn headline, I think one of the biggest issues I see today is people get overly salesy in that headline, and it turns off people. They're like, hey, wait, I don't even know you, and you're already promising me leads and all of this other stuff. So really look at that headline as a tagline, and infuse it with your keywords. Make it very clear who you are, what you do, how you help. It's only 220 characters, so you don't have a lot of room, but it is a place to make sure that when a person is looking through search results and they see your picture, they see your name, and then they see that headline is something that compels them to want to click more and to want to click to read that profile.
Wow. Yeah, someone says, I help folks become, 7, 8, 9 figure service providers and things like that. It's like, so are you saying use more of a human voice, sharing like, who you are?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. And think in terms of, like I said, those keywords. So put in your title, put in what those credibility builders are. And certainly you can absolutely offer a benefit, but I would just put the benefit more towards the end than at the very beginning. It's
yeah.
it's almost like you need to shake a person's hand before you ask them out on that date.
Oh yeah, no French kissing on the sidewalk with a stranger, folks, okay? Uh, and so now, I was talking about increasing social network. How do you start building your network? How do you start, finding out who you should be getting connected with? And one of the things I always do, Donna, and when I reach out to someone, I try to tie it into where I may have seen them in a
Yeah.
story or learned about them somehow. And then I add, I'd be honored to have you in my LinkedIn network.
That's
And
the
then,
right way to go. A personalized note is
yeah,
is elegant, it's classy, it's what you should be doing. But at the same time, right, if you're connecting to people who know you, I have a rather, crazy thought. Just send them the invite. If they know you, they're going to
yeah,
accept. If it's a little bit more hazy, then absolutely put in that personalized note. But, ultimately what I want people to recognize is you have to always be connecting. It's not something that you just do one day. This is something that should be integrated into your everyday business life. And, spend time building and forging that network. Your offline network should be reflected in your online network. And if it isn't yet, then spend the time, invest the time, and connect with the people you went to school with. Connect with the people that you worked with in those first few jobs. Really think about your employers and your clients. Think in terms of the vendors and your service providers that you've met. All of those people are part of your network, and connect, and then connect some more.
oh my gosh. I've got to stitch that on a pillow moment, folks. Hold on for a second. Your offline network should be your online network? Did I
It reflect. So
reflect your
yeah, that online
I
network should reflect
love
your offline network.
Oh my gosh, take that in, everyone. I love that. And but you don't wanna, and how often I mean, you said always be connecting, which I
Yeah.
love, but how often and what types of people? I know LinkedIn suggests a lot. You may wanna know this person or that person. What do you think about that?
Well, at one time, Andy, I was a huge proponent for being a Lion, a LinkedIn open networker. And I truly believe that was the right way. And it was back then. But
Yeah.
today they have the follow button. And so it's not as important to just connect willy-nilly with people that you don't know and you don't trust. And you really do keep that first degree connection for the people that you've
Yep.
met.
Mhm.
Right? And yes, it's okay for it to sort of feather out a little bit where maybe there are people on the peripheral who you know and know of you. Those are fine connections as well. But those people that you haven't met and who don't know you, and you want to learn, you want to meet, follow them and start to pay attention to their posts and see what they're communicating, what they're posting, the content that they're creating. And you can jump into that content and you
Yeah.
can start to forge a relationship. So when it does come time, you can send them that connection request confidently because they do know of you.
Yeah, you've shared their content, you've reposted it, you've made comments in their threads, you've shown that you are part of their community. Here's what I would love, and I actually it was part of a LinkedIn group thing sponsored by LinkedIn, and I asked them if they could do what Twitter does, which has made my life so easy, which is Twitter lists. So I
Mhm.
put everybody in there that I want to go and give some love and see what they're doing. They're in a list. It's so easy. Now it's like, well, now I'm going to have to go look them up and
Mhm.
because, you said follow, they're not always gonna be in your threads,
Yeah.
in your timeline.
Well,
I
there's
would
the bell now. Have you heard about that?
I think I have heard about the bell, but I think I quickly forgot about the bell, but you're right. Talk about the bell.
Well, Annie, let me just first say I love the idea of lists. let's hope
Right.
LinkedIn will hear you and will give that, because that would be fabulous to have,
Wouldn't it be able to just
what-
go right to those people without having to search up their profile? And they're like, why is she looking at my profile? If they care about that.
yeah.
But the bell, let's talk about the bell. I'm going to
S-
LinkedIn right now, folks, just to remember about the bell.
Yeah, so visit Andy's profile. And when you look at that, if you're not already connected or if you're not yet following, hit the follow button. And as soon as you hit follow, you're going to notice in the upper right, a little bell appears. Now that bell is magical because you click it and suddenly you're now truly subscribed. Now you were subscribed before, but you're now subscribed with notifications. So whenever Andy does post, you're now going to be able to get that notification, not pushed to you, but it's going to just be in your LinkedIn notifications
Excellent.
page, and you'll see it, you click, and you're not going to miss anything.
See, that to me is brilliant. And founders, you want to be following investors who like to share information, or accelerators, and people who are you really want to stay in connection with, that you want to deepen your connection with. You may be in Boston and you want to deepen a connection in Philadelphia, but you don't know them yet. And those notifications, oh my gosh. And that follow button. I know a lot of people will follow me, and I will go and I vet everybody on LinkedIn, and I'll see, oh, wow, this is someone I'd love to be able to support or add wind to their sails. And they're really part of my tribe. I will reach out to them and send an invite.
And I think it's great when it feels like it's a situation where you want to help them and you
Yeah.
have something to offer, and it's not done in a completely, I want the lead, I want the sale type of manner. I think it's great, but you have to make that own decision. You have to know in your heart, is this, am I doing it with the right intention?
Because you've
If
seen
it is,
that I've got, 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. I go, yeah, but do you really know them all? I mean, I understand. I mean, you've got a bajillion, but you've been at this since 2009. So of course you do.
well,
But
that's the other reason, because it doesn't, believe it or not, it doesn't take long to hit 30,000.
wow,
It doesn't take long, and then you're stuck.
then you're stuck.
You're stuck. You can't add any more.
Oh, there's a peak at
Yeah,
30,000?
yeah,
How
there's
about
a
following you? Can more follow you?
You can have as many follow I don't think there's any cap on followers.
Okay, that's good to
You look
know.
at Bill Gates and see the millions that he has.
That's
There's no
true.
cap there. But there is a cap on first-degree connections.
Wow. Okay, so that's good to know. I did not know that. I need the Dummies book. Okay, so you said that LinkedIn is actually a search engine. We all know that for YouTube, right, everybody? We all know that for other places and spaces, but LinkedIn is also a search engine. So if someone wanted to start searching and connecting with people that will help them, for business partners, for investors, for talent, how does one search on LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's the upper left-hand side. There's that big, beautiful search bar, and just start putting in keywords. You can even use Boolean phrasing if you want to. You can use and or if you want, but it's not really all that necessary. Just put in those keywords and see what LinkedIn starts to show in those results. I mean, you can even go so far as, search for the company. And then once you have the company, go into the company page and click on the people tab, and you can go through and look at the people who work there. That right there is huge. You can even look at your clients and go to their profile and then look to see who's in their network, because maybe the people that they know are just as, perfect a fit as they are. So it really is a place to do some massive, really intentional research.
Yeah, that last piece of advice that Donna just gave, I hope you all wrote that down. Rewind, do what you have to, get that down, and make it a habit, because that is brilliant for going deep dive into finding folks and finding out, where they are and how and what they're up to. And then you can start building those relationships. And what about groups? Everybody knows about Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. I haven't had any benefit there. What are you seeing around LinkedIn groups to build connections and reputation?
Yeah, at one time, LinkedIn Groups was thriving and it was fabulous. It was this wonderful place to go. I'm sure there are still some groups that are active. There's one, Step Into the Spotlight, that I still get a lot of value from. But most most are just languishing, unfortunately. I would say this, I still believe that the value in groups is by, joining the groups, you now are connected to the members. And that's a good thing. It extends your network. It allows you to get found by more people. It allows you to find more people. So in that regard, I think there's still value to groups, but to really go in there and find a group that's hopping, it's like
Yeah.
a needle in the haystack,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And kind of ghost feeling. I mean, kind of quiet, echo chambery, and all of that.
You
You've
know what
given
I
us
think killed groups?
what?
Do
What?
you wanna know what I think killed groups?
Tell me.
Or replaced groups maybe? The hashtag,
Wow.
right? So with LinkedIn, you can click on the hashtag, you can go to the feed, and suddenly you see all of these people posting about leadership. So why go to a group to get
Oh
that
my
same
gosh.
thing?
Okay, like that's a new bing, 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 bing for me. Click on the hashtag. I know to do that with Twitter.
Yeah, yeah,
Never.
it's very similar now.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've given us all the to-dos with LinkedIn and how to really amplify. What shouldn't we be doing? What are the rut rows? Oh no, you don't for
You know,
LinkedIn.
I think inactivity right now
Mm.
is the worst thing. So to do nothing would be really a horrible thing. You want to go onto LinkedIn. We talked about the profile, but now it's time to engage and get active and start to relate to people.
Yeah.
And you do that through the LinkedIn feed. And I know for a lot of people, and I think especially business owners and startup founders, they've got a lot going on. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to make any mistakes in public. And so there is this feeling of like, oh, maybe I won't post on LinkedIn, at least not yet, not until I feel more comfortable. And so if you feel yourself in that spot, instead of putting that pressure on, instead just go onto the LinkedIn feed and scroll through and jump into the comments of posts that are already there, people that people that you have relationships with, and see what they're posting and comment. And comment in a manner which is thoughtful. Don't just say, "Oh, great idea," or "good job," or good stuff.
Yeah.
But really, add your opinion, give some advice, maybe relay a memory or something that relates to the topic. And what you'll find is those comments are now spotlighted on your network's feed. And so not only are you promoting the other person, but now your comment is being spotlighted as content. And that's a good thing. That's a really good, easy way of just getting involved and starting to get active on the
Because
LinkedIn
folks,
feed.
what happens is now, especially how they have it now on LinkedIn, where they don't, which made my life a little harder. When you look at somebody's activity on LinkedIn, they'll have your likes, your comments. You look active on LinkedIn, even though you're not trying to. Uh, and this is where I know a lot of people get stuck. Well, what am I going to say that will be meaningful to anybody, or what am I going to share? You're busy commenting and liking. And now, of course, they used to have the tab where you could see your posts
Mhm.
versus your commenting and liking.
Yeah.
And
Well, now you can filter it a little bit more now, which is lovely. So when you go to your post and activity or a
yeah.
person's post and activity,
Mhm.
on the very top, you can say, only show me my posts, show me my articles, show me my documents. So they're getting more and more granular in how you
Got
can
it.
filter this. And that's a good thing. But like you said, that activity is a time and date stamp. It
Right.
really shows people they're active or they're not active.
Right. Okay. So that's the big takeaway we're all going to have. And folks, you can just set it up. You can have a little quiet time. Just say, I'm going to take 15 minutes. I'm going to go scroll through my feed. And should they do that once a day, once
I
every other
I would
day,
love
or
it if they could do it once a day in the morning with a cup of
yeah,
coffee, do a 15-minute scroll, make 3 comments, and I
thank
think
you.
people would be surprised
Well,
at
we love
the good
direction.
things
Okay.
that happen just from that.
Yeah, you will be surprised, folks, and I know that you will find something there that will lighten your day as well and be of interest, but more importantly, you're adding wind to that person's sails by liking and commenting, as well as adding it to your sales on LinkedIn, and that could be SAILS or hopefully SALES for that. Oh my gosh. Talk a little bit about how, folks can stay in touch with you and, find you and work with you. I'm going to put up all these banners. And of course, all the links are in the show notes. And then we'll get to some of my usual intangible questions. But for branding and LinkedIn optimization and these free tools and hiring you as a speaker, donnaserdula.com. Share with folks the best way that they could leverage your skill set.
Sure. I mean, clearly I'm on LinkedIn. And so click follow, click connect. I absolutely welcome all those connections. But my website is linkedin-makeover.com. And that's where if you just want some quick, easy tools and tips on how best to stand out, I've got tons of free stuff there. So visit linkedin-makeover.com. I also, like I said earlier, I'm very transparent in our pricing and how our services are laid out and what you get. And so you can see all of that there as well. If you're interested in me as a speaker, donnaserdula.com is where I have all of my speaking information and podcast appearances and all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So let's talk a little bit about what does success look like for you? I mean, you've had tremendous success on LinkedIn up to this point. If you're looking at a few years, what does that success look like? What's the impact that you're hoping to have and reach?
Yeah, I've been so blessed, and I really, what I'm experiencing now is what I've always wanted. It's to have people that I can help, and who are then going on and experiencing life-changing results. And it's one of those things when you help a person understand their story, when you're able to help them cement what that story is and put it out there so other people can see it and react to it and engage with them, amazing things happen. It's not just new jobs, it's opportunities, it's partnerships, it's all of that type of thing. And those are things that will change a person's life. And that to me is what I love about what I'm doing. And I hope it will continue. I want to continue to make that impact.
I love that. And everybody can agree that, Donna, you are the gift that keeps on giving, because we all need to be refreshing our LinkedIn profiles. We need to be commenting, liking, having a presence at least once a day, even if it's just a few likes. And then, learning how, and Donna can really hold your hand, what's the best way to present your new business online? How much should you be talking about that versus all the I don't want to say tricks, but the techniques that you need to use and tactics for LinkedIn. Now, you've been an entrepreneur for quite a while right now, so please share with us, how has entrepreneurship served you both personally and professionally?
For me, it's given me freedom, and I love that. And it's also been very, very fulfilling. So for me, it's freedom and fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's both professionally and personally. I have 2 young sons, and I love to be able to be there for them when I want to be there for them, when I need to be there for them. And I don't have to ask any permission to do that. And I love that about, having my own ship.
Yes. And many women are right there with you, because we need the flexibility. And if corporations are not going to give it to us, we're going to find a way to solve that problem ourselves. So we have that way to earn income and have children and have a lived life that we're looking for. Oh my gosh, Donna, we learned so much from you today. I am so delighted that you joined us on the Startup Life Live show to share your brilliance. And we now know where to go and hire you to help us especially articulate our story so that we stand out and collide with opportunity via LinkedIn-makeover.com. Any last words for the viewers before I pop you in the green room?
Thank you, Andy, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And I think, to the audience, just, you're worth it. You've earned it. Don't be shy. It's one of those things where you really do need to tell that story. And when you do, and you do it in the right way, where it's authentic, it's not in your face, it's not obnoxious, but it's warm and it's real. That's what resonates with people. And that's what we strive for.
Humanity, everybody. We're all humans. sharing our human lived experience. So I love that, Donna. Thank you so much for carving out time to come on the show and share your brilliance. I'm going to pop you into the green room and do a quick wrap up. So I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, everybody. Are you going there to go polish up your and refresh your stale profile right now and put in some keywords that will work for you and do a little more liking and commenting? I know I am. Next on the Startup Live show, guess what? I'm going on vacation. I'm going down to DC with my darling man, and we're going to have a good time next week. So the next show will be May 9th. Again, if you ever want to know how we're doing and who I'm having on the show, please join the Startup Life Live meetup group. Scan that QR code or hop into the show notes and grab the link, or just go to Meetup and type in Startup Life Live and you'll find us. Until next time, please remember that you're braver than you seem, stronger than you think, and as we say here in Boston, wicked smarter than you ever knew you could be. I'm cheering wildly for you. Please stay in touch. Hop on over to Instagram so you can follow the Washington, D.C. shows that I'll be putting up and photos. But until then, I love hearing about what you're doing and how you're glowing in the world. Wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Mwah, everyone.